Good morning. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a great weekend. Today's theme is trust. So we're going to cover Psalm 16 and 31. And the reason I chose these two chapters is because of the first verse of each chapter. So let me pull up my scripture. So I'm going to read from the King James Version and chapter 16, first verse. Preserve me, O God, for in you I put my trust. First verse of Psalm 31. In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. So this is very key to our theme for today. Who do you trust? Who's in your circle that you're trusting that maybe causes some issues? Maybe shouldn't be in our circle. So I'm going to go ahead and read the rest of chapter 16. Verse 2, O my soul, you have said to the Lord, you are my Lord. My goodness is nothing apart from you. As for the saints who are on the earth, they are the excellent ones, in whom is all my delight. I just want to highlight, as for the saints who are here on the earth, that's us. Anybody who is not born in the Jewish culture is a saint because Jesus came here for us. Verse 4, their sorrows shall be multiplied. Let me correct that just a little bit. He didn't just come here for us. He came for everybody. I just want to make sure that I don't misspeak there. But we're included in the fold because the Jewish people are the chosen people, God's chosen people, but we were included in that as Gentiles, so that we are the saints. Verse 4, their sorrows shall be multiplied who hasten after another God. Their drink offerings of blood I will not offer, nor take up their names on my lips. O Lord, you are the portion of my inheritance and my cup. You maintain my lot. The lines have fallen to me in pleasant places. Yes, I have a good inheritance. I will bless the Lord who has given me counsel. My heart also instructs me in the night seasons. I have set the Lord always before me, because he is at my right hand. I shall not be moved. Therefore, my heart is glad and my glory rejoices. My flesh also will rest in hope, for you will not leave my soul in Sheol, nor will you allow your Holy One to see corruption. You will show me the path of life. In your presence is fullness of joy. At your right hand are pleasures forevermore. Such true words. So David begins by declaring his trust in God and that he is his rock, his refuge. And this isn't just a casual trust. When we're in the bottom of the pit and we don't know where to turn, how to get out, how to be happy, um, we have to have someone we trust being right there beside us. And that's him, because he never fails. People will. It's just a fact. Everybody will disappoint you at some point. It doesn't mean that, you have to completely write them off. We all make mistakes. But he is surrendering all in saying that his trust lies in God, because he's going to depend on him for everything. Proverbs 3, 5 through 6, I really love as well. It reminds us to trust in the Lord with all your heart and not lean on your own understanding. I know, trusting anything, let alone someone we can't physically see, feels impossible when life's a complete mess because you're looking for something tangible. You're wanting somebody there to fix it. You're wanting to fix it yourself. And everything you do just makes things either worse or nothing changes. So I just want to unpack this a little bit because I think it's important to really understand why and what trusting in the Lord with all your heart really looks like and feels like when you feel like trust is a huge risk, when you've been let down, when you've been hurt, when you feel like you've been abandoned and your trust is broken, um, then trust doesn't come easy. People have to earn their trust again for you, but God doesn't because he never breaks his trust. Maybe maybe you've had people break a promise. He doesn't break a promise. Maybe your own choices, guilty, have left you broken. But trusting God takes away that risk. It isn't about ignoring the pain or ignoring where you're at. It's seeing a light of hope and knowing that if you put that trust in Him, your victory is already won. You're going to come out of this. You're not going to stay in it. It's not going to be the rest of your life. It's not going to be the rest of the year. It's letting God be your safe place, the one who sees all of you. Oh, and that is so important. Even the parts of you you're ashamed of, but it's okay because you can hand those over to Him and Jesus washed them clean. Second part of the verse, lean not on your own understanding. So what does that mean? Like our thoughts can be a battlefield, right? They keep you up at night. They cloud your thought process. They keep you feeling miserable. So what's our own understanding? It's flawed, right? When you're in the thick of that heartache or that situation and your thoughts go nuts saying, I'm not enough. I'm not always going to not be enough. I'm not worthy. There's no way I can fix this, so why bother? I'm just gonna just stay here. I've been there. It's not fun. It doesn't feel good, and that's not what we were made for. We were made for happiness. And the Lord's not asking you to ignore what you're feeling. He's asking you to just stop trying to figure it all out on your own. Your understanding is clouded by your situation, by the hurt, by the broken trust, by the bad choices. And He sees the whole picture. He sees what you can't see. And He knows the way out. He will make your path straight when you feel lost in that fog. Oh my gosh. And it is so heavy. It's not like a light fog, it's a heavy fog. When you're stumbling around and you can't see, you don't know what's next. The promise of happiness and the promise of forgiveness and the promise that they're going to do better or they're not going to do that. Yeah. When it feels so far away. What are we talking about? A straight path? What's that? Right? It's hard to believe, when you have all these obstacles that there is a straight path. But God's straight path is not about avoiding the pain. It's about leading you through the healing process to get to that wholeness, to get to what He created you. You were born special. You were born for a purpose. You were created not in vain. He has a good plan for you. He's not a dictator. He created you to love and have relationship. And I tell you, if it wasn't for him and Psalms during that time of my life, I would probably still be in the pits. I would still be accepting that that was my life and I couldn't do any better, and bringing everybody I cared about into that pit. So let's move on to Psalm 16, verses 5 through 6. So David actually saw God as his portion, like the person who makes his life feel secure. Like I said, his safe place. Matthew 6:33 encourages us to seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, trusting he will provide all we need. What would it hurt you to get up in the morning, or me, and say, "Thank you, Lord. Um, I know it's going to be hard to put my feet on the floor. It's going to be hard for me to get out of bed because I just don't feel like it. I don't feel good. I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. There's nothing good coming in this day. But I'm going to trust that you're going to get me through it. And I'm going to trust that tomorrow is going to feel just a little bit better." Just have that small conversation. Say whatever you have to say, and he will be the one lifting you up out of that bed and putting your feet steady on the floor. Been there, didn't want to, didn't know how I was going to get through a day, feeling so horrible. But he was there. He was faithful, like verses 8 through 11. David had joy because he knew God would never abandon him like people do. Sometimes we make choices and trusting people that turns into a love for those people, and then we discover that they're not who they said they were. They're not who we thought they were. Maybe we placed characteristics and traits on them that we thought we saw, but that wasn't the case. And we're already there. We're already in the thick of it. We already care about them, and we don't want to walk away from it. But what's healthy? Continuing to break your trust, break your heart. Who do you trust? In Psalms 31, verses 1 through 3, David is pouring out his heart, declaring his need for God's protection. Verses 1 through 3, Psalm 31, "In thee, O Lord, do I put my trust. Let me never be ashamed. Deliver me in thy righteousness. Bow down that ear to me." Like, hear me, please. Hear what I'm saying. Deliver me speedily. Like now, I want this to go away. I don't want this feeling anymore. I want to be happy. Be thou my strong rock for a house of deference to save me. For thou art my rock and my fortress. Therefore, for that thy name's sake, lead me and guide me. The Lord will lead you and guide you out of it. And it's a process. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen like this. Have you learned your lesson? That's tough. Are you strong enough now to let that person go, or let that situation go, or let that job go, or let that friend go, or let that habit go, let that crutch go, let go of what you've been using to bury your feelings? Are you ready? Are you ready to surrender that outcome? In 5 of Psalm 31. Into your hands I commit my spirit. Trust is more than words. It's an act of handing that control over to God. And it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. And I encourage you to not just do it silently. I mean, we can speak to God without having to use our outward words. We can use our internal words, but I encourage you, when you're ready to hand that over, say it out loud, cry it out loud, yell it out loud, whatever it takes. It makes it more real and it makes it more complete. And it helps you not take it back. Because once you hand it over to him, if you keep taking it back, you keep hurting yourself even more. I learned that the hard way because I kept wanting to take it back and fix it myself. I thought I was strong. I'm independent. I got this. You're not going to cross this line. I'm going to cross this line and I'm going to make you whatever, whatever, whatever. Yeah, no, didn't work that way. Trust me, it doesn't. God's goodness for the faithful in verses 19 through 24. David's celebrating how God stores up the goodness for those who take refuge in him. Trusting God doesn't mean that life is going to be free of challenges, but it does mean that his goodness will always meet your need. Romans 8:28 assures us that God's work for the good of those who love him. Who do you trust when your life is overwhelming? Do you lean on anybody? Do you just try to internalize it and figure it out and wade through it and just hope that, in a couple weeks or a couple months it'll be gone? Why wait? Why continue to suffer? What would it look like to put your trust in God? Like I mentioned, it's not always easy because you're putting your faith in that trust of something you can't see here on earth, but you can feel it. I hope this was a good dissection of Psalm 16 and 31 for you today, and I hope it provided a little bit of insight and hope and trust in where you're at right now. Where are you? Who are you trusting? Is it time to bring someone new in? Have a blessed rest of your Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.